Thanks for coming out, you guys. And no, I'm happy we found a way. We knew this was going to be a tough game coming in, just with how they present themselves, with their rebounding, their physicality, the size. So, we talked in the last 2 days of prep about rebounding. We ended up actually out rebounding them, which was good. We got Lem get 18 boards, boards, which was above what we wanted. But I thought we did an unbelievable job on Nestor. For a kid that has had 30 boards in a game, we really neutralized her. She only had 7 points and 6 rebounds. We did a great job executing game plan of attacking her, getting into foul trouble. And then we shot lights out from 3. So it's always nice we haven't had a game like this in a long time where literally everything, we shot, it pretty much went in. And I've been telling these guys the last 2 days, shoot it. I just think we can get more threes and don't hesitate if you're open, especially with these guys really clogging the paint and being in heavy help and heavy gaps. Let's get kick out threes and credit these guys. They were confident, they were ready, they found their teammates, and they hit the shots. So it's a good gritty win, which we always like, and now we'll learn from this and move on and get ready for Jackson State.
Questions for student athletes? Raise your hand, I'll get your mic.
I want to start with a question for Maddie. It seemed like once you got into the game, the offense started to flow a little bit more. And I especially noticed your synergy with Gretchen moving 2-man game on one side of the floor today. Is that something that you work on and practice with her, or is that just basketball instinct coming together to create looks?
Yeah, that's just basketball instincts to create looks. I mean, at practice, we obviously work together all the time. So, yeah, but it was just natural.
Barry, how good did it feel to see the threes fall the way they did today? For you and the team as a whole.
Yeah, I think it was really good. It was really fun too, especially with Maddie and Gretchen just knocking down those threes. I think it really got us all going, but I think it just made us even harder to guard. Me knocking down some threes, but them as well. It's hard for them to guard all of us and stop us all from the three. So I think it was really fun just to have that, which we haven't really had as much this season.
So this question could go for either of you. In a game where 50 fouls are called and there's a lot of stoppage, it was 2 hours of real time for a game. What does resilience look like on a day like today where I don't think in anyone's game plan they want that much stoppage of play, but you found a way to win?
I think the biggest thing and what we kind of talk about is just focusing on what we can control and just adjusting to, how the refs are calling that. But I think just focusing in on our principles and the things that we knew we wanted to do and just keeping that composure when things start to get hectic or crazy with all the fouls and, just still executing and sticking and staying disciplined on defense.
Maddie, just as a team to move the ball like you did, to free up those 3-pointers, just how good did it feel to see those shots go in, but then not only see that, but see the way you were able to move the ball as a team tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we just worked so hard, so it's really nice to just see it pay off. And we practiced getting kickouts. We talked about how important that was, so it was nice to do that. And then we always make the extra pass. We're so unselfish, so it's so nice seeing again it all pay off.
Barry, knowing that this was going to be a pretty young team and an inexperienced team, what has gelled so well for you guys this year defensively? Another game where you hold somebody under 70, and it just seems like that has worked with a really, really young team.
I think we've been able to grow so much this year just with our one-on-one defense. Coach always talks about winning our 2 dribble wars and just keeping the ball in front of us. So I think having a lot of guards and really good defenders on our team, they've been doing a great job just keeping the ball in front of them, and that helps us to stay out of rotations, which makes everything a lot easier for everybody and, just showing up for each other whenever we need to.
Barry, it can be kind of a daunting task to replace everything that you guys lost last year. Did you think, I know you thought this team could be good, did you think that 10-1 was possible? Is this team further along than maybe you thought it would be?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I expected great things out of this year. Even though we were losing a lot of players, I saw just the potential of our young players and the people we had coming in as soon as they came in the summer. we could always see like different glimpses in practice, just like of how good we could really be once we started to get more and more connected. So I think I always had a really high hope for us, and I think it's been really cool just to experience that with them.
Maddie, are you enjoying and embracing this role as spark plug off the bench? Is that a role that you feel really good about? Or?
Yeah, I was talking to my position coach, Jackie, about it, and I was saying, like, how much I enjoy it now. Because at first, I was like, am I going to be able to play as good as I, like, am, like, if I'm not starting? And I honestly really enjoy it because it lets me, like, watch the game as well and then see what I need to do. So, I mean, I enjoy it a lot now.
Good job, you guys.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day off.
Thanks.
Questions for Coach? Raise your hand. We'll do one.
So, Coach, obviously a game that was very physical, and it ends up being 20 turnovers, but it seems like a lot of that might be attributable to the style of play on the floor. How do you handicap that when you go back and look at film in terms of, obviously you want to keep your turnovers low, but there's some extenuating circumstances in a game like today?
Yeah, it'll be interesting once I go back and rewatch it all and break it down and see like where all those came from. You know, in the first half, I know we had a lot from charges and, you know, a brush screen, you know, moving. Some of those are, you know, not really our normal turnovers. And just with, again, we knew with their pressure and the physicality, it's the most physical game we've been in all year, hands down, you know, and so it's good for our young team to learn that and to feel that. But we have to, you know, they had 19, we had 20, and shoot, we had 9 the last game total. So it's like I don't think we've been really over 13 in the past how many games. So I'll go back and look at it, but I think a lot of them you could probably take 5 or 6 and maybe it wasn't actual turnovers, you know, it's some other stuff. So we'll figure that out.
Coach, it was a bizarre fourth quarter in a number of ways. Can you break it down from your perspective? I was specifically curious about the shot clock violation. Was there time on the clock above the hoop?
I don't know. That was crazy. I've never seen anything like that in my 20-some years of coaching. So I saw that the shot clock wasn't going, but I didn't know that that was in my job duties to to report that. So, yeah, and it happened. It is what it is. But then they hit a 3 off that. That's a big shift, right? So they said that it had started. I don't know. So I'll watch it and see.
Shauna, same question I asked Barry. Knowing that this team was so young and even the veterans you got out of the portal, you were going to ask them to do something defensively they hadn't done before. Did you think this team would gel as well on that end of the floor like they have so far?
You know, to be honest, again, like how quickly it happened, probably not. Because I look back, and I know you guys are sick of me saying this, but I go back to thinking where we were leading up to that Oregon State game. And because everything it's a feel I can see, like, and we weren't really getting it. And we got beat off of, like Barry said, how good our one-on-one defense was. Well, in that game, we literally just got blown by, and then we didn't have any help. Like everything that we preached from day one. And after that game, and this is where I give our players credit because they took ownership and they just got back to work and then they bought in. And since that game, we just have gelled really. It's been a pretty quick process from that. And now we're just going and fine tuning like each game. Okay, defensively, this is the stuff we got to work on, or this was in this game, right? It's not like general stuff because we're being pretty solid in our principles and our 2 dribble wars and our gaps and our help defense. And I think our bigs are figuring out how to help and protect and how to help and then get back. So to answer that, how quickly after some adversity, I am surprised with that.
Coach, Destiny Jackson, of course, is in foul trouble most of the game. I know you spoke on this a little bit earlier about Gretchen, but can you talk about how she's able to handle those point guard duties along with trying to find her shot?
Yeah, that was another thing that's crazy. It's like we had all of our point guards out. With Aaliyah out, I'm like, okay, Gretchen, what do you know? We don't practice her at the point, so we just kept it pretty simple. But she was a point guard in high school, so I trust her. And Maddie too. Maddie played some point at Nova, so. I like those two. I feel confident with them. And also, especially against that press, they're bigger. So it didn't, there was one time they were pressing, and we didn't have a true point guard out there, but I thought we handled it really well. So hopefully we can get Aaliyah back soon, and then we'll have another guard. This game actually was kind of, it worked for us because we were able to play two bigs, and we could bump, C over to the 4 and Barry over to the 3 more.
Shauna, I know you maybe referenced on the radio just them not being a good three-point shooting defense for North Texas, but did you maybe see some different looks and some that led to the success that you had from your team that led to as many three-pointers as you had today?
Joe, I knew that coming in, but so the only thing we did differently was, and really not differently because I'm always telling them to shoot it, I really thought with their press, I wanted to just get into more of our continuity stuff and to let them play, so the flow, instead of calling more sets. So that was something a little bit different. We just were playing out of it, so we were getting some paint touches into some kickouts, and a lot of it happened organically. I called a couple sets to get us threes, but the majority of it, which is awesome. Like if we can play without that and get those threes organically without having to call set after set after set, that's something that we haven't been able to do a lot in the past 3 years. So really it was just them finding the open guy and then being down and confident and knocking down shots. But hopefully this can kind of spark us and get us going into Big Ten play.
Yeah, Maddie Weber's she's playing starters minutes, so I don't know how much it matters really. But is that sixth man role something you've looked at and taken a deep dive into the analytics and thought about maybe plugging her into the starting lineup?
I wish I could say I was that smart, but for me, I'm more just feel. I know from our successful teams and our championship teams that I've ever had, we've had someone really good coming off the bench. I've told you the story about how I brought in a first-team all-conference player and put her in that position, and I don't really like how I am and how I put it to the team. Like, starting shouldn't matter. Like it's about, are you playing? Are you helping? It's about the team and how can you do your role and be a star in your role so we can be elite and we can try to win games. So I never talked to Maddie about, oh, you're coming off. I did think that we were it might have actually been after Oregon State. I did give her, I'm going to give her a time where she's going in. Because I thought that might help her. So then, because early on, right, it's the uncertainty. When's coach going to put me in? When is she going to put me in? And so Dr. Cook, our sports psychologist, is always talking to our players about, don't wait to be put in, prepare to be put in. But it's a normal thing on the bench. So I did tell her, hey, you're going to go in, 5 minutes every game you're going in. So you see she just starts going the bike now, so she's ready, and I think so she's in a nice rhythm of it. And I always say it's an advantage. Like, it's an advantage because you can see the game, you can see what's happening, you can see, okay, they're playing like this and like that. And I think she comes in and she is on it. She's on point. She's in she both ends of the floor. She's just been absolutely amazing since that Oregon State game. I could not be more happy and thrilled with what she's given us on both ends.
Coach, this is more of like an attitudinal question related to how you see your team, and you can shut it down if it's totally off base. But it seems like you've become more overtly and vocally optimistic about this group as the season has gone on. Not necessarily because you weren't optimistic about them, but because there are things that we're seeing that lead us to believe.
I don't know. You're starting to know me too well.
Yeah. There are things that we're seeing that lead us to believe, whoa, there's like something real going on here that's showing up night after night. What are you most optimistic about with your team at this point as they exist, and what do you want to see them work on to build on the good vibes that we're sensing?
I just think, again, the ceiling's so high. So that's I think we can get so much better. Like, I don't think we played, great today, but I also think just the style of the game was, it is what it is. So that's what I'm optimistic about is we can get so much better. We can get even, better defensively. We can continue to have people progress individually and then therefore collectively, and I really enjoy this team. Like, I really enjoy, I just love that how honest and open, we are with each other, and I can tell them the truth and they just look at me and take it. And when you are truth seeking and you're able to grow. And that's why I just absolutely love like the youth of them. We're able to get better because they can handle learning and they want to learn. And then there's times that, I just need to, like at halftime today, I mean, I wanted to go in there and yell and scream because I wasn't really happy, but I just like, you just got to keep it light sometimes with this group too, because they're young. So we went in there, I was making jokes and they didn't think they're funny, but I was trying to make jokes and just to keep them light and have fun. My whole message going into this game was have fun playing the game and play with passion. Like that was my whole thing. Pre-game speech, everything was play with passion, play with fire, so you when you see me like losing my mind, like that's because I have a great passion for this game. But number one, I have a great passion for this team. Like I absolutely love this team and I'm going to stick up for them for whatever it is. And they got to understand sometimes you got to, you got to let it all out there. This is what it's about. So I can't wait to see where this team goes and how we progress. And there's still going to be days where we're going to learn and there's going to be moments. So we got to be ready for some of those, but I think we're in a really good place.
Coach, career high 28 for Barry, but you mentioned like shots coming organically. It didn't seem like it was a lot of ISO ball or setting 4 screens for her. Like, were you impressed with how she got 28?
Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed really overall because we had 17 assists and again, just playing free and playing together and playing connected. And we talk all the time about paint touches and creating for others. And I even told them at half, I got on them because I'm like, if I was some of them on the perimeter and the guard that didn't see me, they would have heard about it. Like we're so nice. We don't, I'm like, you guys, you can't play the game silent. Like tell them you're open. So I love our kids and I credit them because they listened to me tell them that in halftime. And they came out and we're getting kick out threes. C gets the inside out and we're talking and we're moving the ball and we're knocking them down. So again, like, they listen, they're coachable, and then they go apply. So those are great things for a young team.
I think I know the answer to this, but win number 200 at this level, does it mean anything to you? And I know you work for Joe, and he's got like 700 or 800 of them, but when you started at Dayton, did you think you would get to 200, 300 in your career?
I didn't know I was at 200, so. Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, I never think about that. I hope I can coach long enough like Joe to try to get that. God love him. It's just, it's so hard to win one basketball game at this level. Like, and I don't, you guys understand it because you understand like the game, but so many people don't understand the hours, the time it goes into preparation from coaches, from players, just for one game. It's like, everything, your whole life is into that. And then, you win or you lose and then you move on to the next. So, but again, like I said about the passion piece, if you're doing what you love, then, it doesn't feel like work and hopefully we can get 200 more. Hopefully I'm alive for that long. I can get 200 more.
Kind of adjacent to the passion. What was the messaging later in the second half when the reffing becomes a bigger part of the calculus of the game?
Yeah, that's where our teams have always, like I always tell them, I told them at half, like don't worry about the refs, let me do it. I mean, I said I'm pretty good at yelling at them and I like it. So I'm like, let me do it. You guys don't do it, right? Like, and so they just play the game, and they do. Like our teams, they stay poised, they play. You can't control it; it's out of our control. I want to try, and I'm gonna continue to work the refs and talk to them. But they got a hard job too. Really, they got a hard job, and they're not perfect. They kept telling me that, and I know that they're not perfect, and they're human beings. So it is what it is. It's a good test again of dealing with adversity, and I'm really proud of our team, of their poise and their ability to remain focused on the present. And don't worry about that stuff. I'll worry about it.
Two more.
You played a lot of extra guys today, whether that was due to the foul trouble or due to the size and and the strength that North Texas has. Was the game plan always to get Naomi and Irene all those extra minutes, or was that like a spur of the moment foul trouble type of thing?
I knew with this game that we could go bigger. So I really wanted to try to get some other people some opportunity and some minutes and some experience. So I went in with that game plan and I stuck to it. But then obviously with some foul trouble, we had to make some adjustments as well. But I thought everyone that went in did a great job and they were ready to go. So I was happy to see that.
Yeah. So 2 games in what looks like 14 days ahead. So that's a lot of practice and a lot of time where you're not doing game day prep. So how are you approaching that with a young team in particular, who this is maybe going to be their first time as a group going through that long of a stretch without a ton of basketball?
Yeah, so we're off tomorrow, and then the next day we're actually just going to do individual work. I think even more so, like you think that last year with an old team, you need some breaks. Well, with a young team, their ability to sustain intensity for 3 days in a row right now, and we're banged up some. We've had a couple people that haven't, practiced the last couple days and trying to get them really through this game. And obviously, Leah's been out. And so we need a couple days. So some people will get 2 days off. Some people will get just individual. It'll kind of depend on their situation. Then we'll be in a 2-day prep for Jackson State. Then we have 5 days off for Christmas, which is a long break. And we'll come back and we'll practice. We'll have practice Christmas night. We'll have 3-day prep with that leading into Purdue, because Purdue is a huge game. I know we have Jackson State, which obviously, but your first Big Ten game at Purdue is, it's a really big game. So that's our schedule for the next 2 weeks.